Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Ramirez, and I'm currently in my final year of my Bachelor's of Applied Science in Computer Technology and Software Development program. The project I'm going to present today is called Tracking Book Trends with Google Books API. So, what the project does. So, my project pulls data from Google Books API to track which genres, keywords, and authors are trending over time. It queries topics like bestseller, book talk, and romance every 6 hours and stores the data in a local database. Over time, this allows me to see patterns like which books or authors repeatedly show up and whether certain genres peak at specific times. So the languages and tools I use. So I use Python to build the entire pipeline. I also use SQLite as my local database. In my schedule library to run queries automatically. The data is explored through Jupyter notebooks using pandas. So how the product changed. So my project evolved over time. I increased the number of my results per query. I used to pull only 10 books, and I upped it to 40 per books to help give me a larger database. Um, I also add a query index to keep track of which queries have been ran. That way, anytime I needed to edit my program and restart it, it would pick up exactly where it left off. I also added a feature to help run failed queries due to like internet, problems or anything of that nature to try attempting the same query 3 times, and then if it failed, to log what queries were not successful in a file so I can go over them manually. Um, I also added a filter to focus on books published since 2020 to keep the data more relevant. It was something that I kind of realized when going over my data that a lot of the books that were being pulled were either older or not exactly relevant anymore. Some books were even before 2000. Finding and results. This slide shows key results from my project using the data collected from Google Books API. The top left chart shows that the queries like book talk, new release fictions return the highest number of recent books, which reflects current reader trends in publishing focus. The top right line graph tracks the number of recent books of 2020 plus collected daily, with noticeable spikes during stable connections and dips when internet issues caused query fails due to local construction. These failures are now logged and retried automatically thanks to a recent update. The bottom bar chart highlights the top 10 authors in recent books, um, leading the list. The NA entity represents books where author's data was missing, usually the author's name, sometimes the publication date, but I still flag them and put them in my data just so I can see what the books were. Uh, These findings help kind of show both the volume and pattern trending in books from 2020 and up. So technical challenges. So most of my biggest challenges during this was unreliable internet. We have nearby construction going on, and they ended up damaging our internet line, which made it kind of faulty and sometimes drop. Um, Besides that, it ended up having some problems when I was trying to query. Some of my queries would fail if the internet would drop or get interrupted. So I had to add in a catch feature to help record any failed queries so I can review them later and try to rerun them. Um, I had some earlier problems with my author fields and earlier records. The way I had it was saved to my database. I had to correct. Besides that, I didn't have too many technical problems. Successes and disappointments. So some of the successes was the data pipeline worked from end to end, visualization showing real insight. Some of the disappointments, some books were too old or irrelevant, missing data in some entities, no author or dates, inquiry automation every 6 hours. So I'm proud that the automation and analyzed pipeline was running smoothly. I was disappointed to find that some of the data from the API was either too old or incomplete, which has its limited uses. As for the querying every 6 hours, I had a very small query base. I was only collecting 10 books per query, which really limited my database at the beginning, especially when I started filtering for only books 2020 and up. Um, So when I was only querying for every 6 hours, it was really leaving me with a small uh, data set, I'm sorry, to work with. That was something I wish I would have thought of, prior to starting this project, because I wanted to query every 6 hours, so I would have more of a link. So if anything's added over a couple days, it would reflect that in the data instead of me just running all the queries at once every day. I wanted to break it up and span it over a period of time instead of just running them all at once. So Project Do Over. Where should I start? So filtered recent books from the beginning. I would definitely want to have done that. Add error logging and retry logic sooner, and consider Google Books trends for keyword validation. So if I started over, I would have done a lot more of that implementation at the beginning, especially during this time. There's a lot of construction around us, and we ended up having damaged internet lines, which caused a lot of internet droppage. So if I would have done a lot of this in the beginning, uh, like saving what queries failed or having my queries repeated because sometimes the internet would only drop for maybe 2, 3 minutes and then pick back up. I would have been able to actually get that queries automatic and it would have ran it, catched it on the second or third try. Um, I think I would have made it more robust, in other words, uh, in the beginning, catch more of those faults, I guess you could say, to be able to better handle unforeseen situations. Um, and besides that, I can't really think of much I would want to change on the project. I did realize the Google Books API, you need more uh, specific queries when you want to find stuff, and that was something I found out later. And due to the fact that I've only collected data over such a small period of time, um, if I would have known that, I might have used a different source for collecting book information. Now, don't get me wrong, I still am happy with the results I got, and it's still very useful. Um, but again, like I said, there was a lot of work to get it to that point, and if I would have known that, I think I would have done things differently, and that's about it for Projects Do Over. I just want to thank everyone for their time and thanks for listening to my project presentation. This has been quite an interesting project. I personally love books, so this was very interesting to see what books were trending, especially since I saw some of the ones on there I've personally read and I enjoy. I hope everyone enjoyed my presentation. Have a great day.